Hello friends. Well, as I shared my video on leasing a car to friends and family and on Facebook, I got some one response that I want to answer is they said there are times when women should lease a car. Well, let's address that right now, shall we? Music Man from his man cave, women and leasing cars. Okay, here goes the argument. Women should lease cars because they have no mechanical skills. And because they need a reliable car, because if their car breaks down by the road, they may be attacked, drug into the woods and murdered, or raped if their car breaks down. And also, women don't know anything about cars. So they could be taken advantage of by these mean, evil mechanics. And so they should have a car covered under the dealership's warranty that they can take the car into the dealer anytime and they will repair the car free of charge. Or they'll change the oil and do all those things to the car and you don't have to worry about it. It just takes stress off your mind. They know that you've got a car and everything is covered and backed up on, for that car. Also, they have a brand new car, so they have a good cash flow, and it looks good for their money. Also, any guy that will help them with a car in the church or elsewhere is just looking for one thing. He wants to get them into bed. So they don't want to be obligated to, any man in the church or anywhere else because all men are just a bunch of pigs who don't want to just do nice things and help people out of the generosity of their heart. They're just looking for sex. And if you're a good-looking woman and they help you with their car, they're expecting you to have some Betty by time that night. Okay, let's take all these apart, shall we? First of all, leasing a car for women. Let's take apart the thing about that, it's better because it relieves worry and stress. Well, I'd say that's probably a wash, in my opinion. Now, I don't want to make any woman here feel like she's stupid or she's dumb or anything like that. I'm trying to liberate women from this victim mentality that they're lesser than men and men are better than women and women should be basically messed over financially just because they're a woman. That to me is idiotic. I don't like that at all. So let's address this. You can get a good 5-6-year-old Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, maybe even pay a few thousand more for a Camry or a Honda Accord. And those cars, I'm telling you, they are tight. They are well made. If they have good records and you do your research, you can come out with a really sweet car that after you pay for it, it's going to last you for many years. These lease cars, like the Ford Taurus was a high lease car. I don't know what the high lease car is now. Probably a Chevy Impala, or I know they like to lease like Chevy. What's the Cavalier today? I don't know. You're in more danger with those cars than you are driving a Honda or a Toyota. I've been stranded with a Pontiac Bonneville that only had 50,000 miles on it. You know how many times I've been stranded with my cars that have now over 200,000 miles on it, my Camrys? First of all, I know the cars really well. I know the signs. I can hear. And I can hear if something's not right. And then also, I know that there's people that I can go to, that I can trust. Find a reliable mechanic. There are good men out there. There are good mechanics. I know you can find them. Don't just go to the dealership. Yeah, you're going to get ripped off. And so, also in a lease car, you can get broken down anyway and be drug into the woods and murdered. Okay, so on a used car, why don't you just get a cheap little, on your insurance, a little towing package. Or that's a lot cheaper, believe me. Or get AAA. It's cheap. And all you have to do is call them and they'll come. They'll be there just as quickly as the car dealership will be there and call somebody for you, guaranteed. So I'm just teaching you some things to save money. So you see how already the leasing car thing is starting to crumble. Because you're paying and you're paying and you're paying and all these hidden fees. And, you know, it just, and then when you're done with the leasing of the car, you're broke. And you don't realize how much you're paying for that car. You're probably paying twice the value of the car. If you lease a couple of cars, you're probably paying twice. It's like a rent-to-own store where they're paying 3 times the cost that you can go in and buy that TV. And so it seems all nice. So you're only looking at monthly payment. You're not looking at the full package. Because it's so complicated, you couldn't even understand it. What did I say about complicated? The more complicated it is, you're probably getting ripped off. So they keep it real simple for you. Can you afford $280 a month? Then you have a brand new car and you have no worries and you're stress-free. But the things you're stressed out about, in my opinion, are not rational. You might have to go to a mechanic. If you get a Honda Civic or Toyota Corolla, the chances of, and you've done your homework and the car runs good, and you learn to do some basic, check the fluids yourself and so forth and maintain it, that car is going to go for 100,000 miles with very minimal problems. Oh, the antenna's not going up and down, something like that. Those motors and those transmissions in those cars are tight. They are well made. And so I'm just telling you, there are ways to avoid the lease. Also, there are men like me, I'm married, and no, I'm not out on the prowl looking for sex. I'm not looking for some widow or some orphan teenager that I can take advantage of sexually. No, I'm not a pervert, and that is just disgusting thinking on women's part. There are men out there that love Jesus Christ, they love God, and they are not just these dogs like they paint them on TV that they expect you to put out if you're going to help them out. And that's disgusting. And there are men that are not like that. And I'm one of them. I'm not like that. I don't work like that. Okay? If the man wants to help you out, have his wife come along and be a part of it. That takes care of that right there. Be smart. Be shrewd. One thing I would encourage you, stop being a victim. I hate it when women act like they're victims and that because of their gender that they should get a raw deal. You know, if you want equality, then use your brain. Be shrewd. Be intelligent. I'm not meaning to beat you down here if you're already leasing cars and you feel trapped. But I can tell you can get out from under leasing cars. And you can save yourself a lot of money. And you'll have a lot of money in the long run. Leasing cars is basically geared toward fear for the person that leases it. They're paying for safety and for security, and I'm sorry, but that just does not exist. There are still those scenarios, I don't mean to scare you, where you could get stranded even with a brand new car in a place that you don't want to be. So none of those arguments hold any logic, except that you're afraid. You're afraid. Admit it. You're scared. You're scared something bad's going to happen and you're not going to know how to handle it. AAA, lock the doors. It works. And most of the time, the only time I broke down, and it was with the Pontiac Bonneville, was in town. It was in town. It wasn't out on some desert road where creepers were out in the woods looking for me and coming after me to attack me and kill me. It can be just as dangerous in some places in the inner cities for a man to break down. Yeah, you don't see us shrinking away in fear and buying brand new cars all the time. Anyway, I've said enough. There's my thoughts on leasing a car for women. That's leasing part 2. Take care and God bless. Bye.